Welcome to the Drunkard's Path, and welcome to all of our new subscribers, because we have hit over 1,000 subscribers. Yay for us, we're just over the moon. I know on YouTube that's just small potatoes, but for our shop, doing this for a couple of years now, we are ecstatic to see that clicker go over the 1,000 mark, so thank you so much. And for our new subscribers, I just want to let you know, who are we and what do we do? We're a smaller online shop in Canada, Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, and we're a quilt shop. It's a mother and son team. How it got started was I was just finishing up my career as a TDM officer for the Canadian Coast Guard, and my son was just graduating university with a degree, an honor science degree in chemistry and physics. So what did those two career paths have in common? Well, of course, open a quilt shop, a family-owned quilt shop. So it's funny, but that's how it happened, and we're doing okay. You know, it was like challenge accepted and a little harder challenge than I had anticipated, but that's okay. I don't mind challenging work. If you're a quilter, then you probably can relate. But that's how we got started. If you go on to drunkardspath.com, you'll see we have all kinds of fabrics like Moda, mostly Moda from Trentex, and we have Riley Blake fabrics like Lori Holt, and we like to stick with the higher end fabrics and sell them for a fairly reasonable price. We're trying to keep our prices down as much as possible, but within the last year or so, they have gone up just a tad. So the newer fabrics coming in have reflected that, but not by much. We're trying to keep it as low as possible and bring you the best fabrics that we can. And I just want to mention, if you stick around for the second half of this video, you will see me revisit my sewing room with a few additions on also how I store things and a couple things that I have just recently got and put in there and rearranged a few things. So stick around for that one. I think you'll enjoy it. The winner from the last video of a $25 gift card is Jane Van Wingen, 1873. And Jane, if you could please let us know your email by contacting us at support@drunkardspath.com so we can get that code out to you for that $25 gift card. That would be great. And of course, as always, we have our bigger giveaway. So anybody who has made a purchase between January 1st and March 31st will be in the running of a $100 gift card. So if you've made a purchase, you're in the running for that. I just want to tell you a little life update story, just for fun. The other day, I decided I was going to make some banana bread. And so I got all the ingredients and I started putting them into the mixing bowl. I got all the dry ingredients in there, and I was just coming up to I put in an egg, and I thought, oh, the cinnamon. So I grabbed the jar, and I started shaking in the cinnamon, shaking it in. And I thought, a little part of me went, that is just a little bit of a different color. So I don't, like, you know, you've used the spice enough, you know what it looks like. So I thought, okay, I looked at the jar, which is the exact same shape. I looked at it. It was cayenne pepper. So I went, oh, come on. So, well, thank goodness I didn't put the bananas in yet, so I just dumped it all in, and I made sure that the cayenne pepper was put in a spot the other side of the cupboard as where I normally keep the cinnamon. So it was just kind of funny. So if anybody has a story or a comment out there about how they made a little snafu in your quilting room when you're making a quilt and you noticed it after the fact. So if you leave a comment with a little something like that, and you'll be in the running for our next gift card, $25 gift card. So leave a comment and subscribe and like. But if you don't leave a comment, I can't choose you. So that would be wonderful, and it really helps to drive the video, so the algorithm to get the video to as many people as possible. And we just want to reach everywhere. And I also want to say thank you to our international customers. We are really, really grateful that you have reached out to us, and we get your order out like toot sweet as fast as we can. If you have enjoyed what you've been getting. So maybe you can leave a comment on that. So that would be wonderful. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to new to the shop. The first two little things that I have here are smaller. I have a couple of patterns, and this one's called Spooky Sampler Quilt. So that's been added. And this one is called Christmas Adventure Quilt Pattern by Flamingo Toes. And it's so cute. It's got the little campers on there. So I know Christmas is over, but there's next Christmas. And I've got another 4 bolts of fabric. And this collection is called Posh. And these are all neutrals, which they're really, really gorgeous fabrics. This one, oh shoot, I didn't tell you what it's called. Shadow Mist. This one here, it's kind of a beige with a brown background. This one is called Ivory Whisper. So pretty. The flowers. Number 3, we got this nice polka dot, and it is called Ivory. So it's always great to have neutrals because everything goes with it, right? This one is called Onyx. We have this one. Before I get to what I've been working on, I just want to show you a couple things that I got for Christmas. My friend Pat and I, we always exchange gifts at Christmas. She made some of this wonderful fabric, this fat quarter bundle, and these are all Japanese fabrics. So I'm just going to kind of like, you can see them and go like that. Get the blacks and the reds and whites. And some little bit of brown and all these reds. So immediately I had to go online and look for the perfect pattern, and I found one that has all these little kimonos. So I ordered that, and it's going to be coming in. Well, I ordered it from Etsy, so probably be a few weeks, but how nice that one's going to look with this Japanese fabric. And I got this little Winterberry case that I bought myself. It's really cute. It's pink. And this is for my cross stitch. And inside is this gorgeous kind of a green velvety look. And then my husband, he got me, like so sweet, he remembered I was online looking for some scissors, and they're called Kohana. And I didn't put it into the basket and check it out. I just kind of looked at it and I, well, no, maybe I'll wait, whatever. Didn't he go and remember, and he bought me the little Kohana scissors. They're just beautiful and very sharp, very precise. So I got that. You got this little needle minder. This is the cutest of all. Look at these little tiny snips. They're just so cute, and this the little holder that it goes in. So I guess you wouldn't be stopped on a plane with that, eh? And the last little thing in there was this little threader. Probably can't see the end there, but I thought, how sweet is that? Just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, now let's get on to what have I been working on. When I was cleaning out my sewing room, I was going to start with a couple of quilts this year, a couple of sew-alongs, and then as I was cleaning up, I saw that I had a couple quilts that I hadn't finished, and they're actually quite nice. And I thought, what am I thinking about? I have to finish these. So these are a couple whips that I have, and I wanted to keep going with them. And one of them, I've been using this vintage sunburst paper, so foundation paper piecing, along with the economy paper that I've been using. And this is the block, what it looks like. So I'm going to keep on going with that, and then in between of the block, I'm not going to open the whole thing, but you can see that I put the cornerstones that I used the square and square, the economy paper, the little tiny one. I don't have that one there, and then I have the other square and a square and a square over there. So this is how I'm going to piece it together. So I have to get back to that one. I want to finish it. I don't want to start these things and have them sitting around because, it's, fabric's expensive. That was my theme for the start this year, is to get onto some of the stuff that I started. And this is another one. It's called Let's Be Friends, this pattern here. And I've had this sitting up there, I bet you, I'm going to say at least 3 years that I hadn't touched it. And it was using Tilda fabric. And I thought, that must be crazy. It's got beautiful Tilda fabric, and I have not finished it. So this is what the blocks look like. Okay, this is the one that I had done a couple years ago. And so the other day, I'll show it on the board, I got, and I did this one. So each one was going to have a different Tilda fabric. And then you've got your background fabric, and each one of them will also have the red, like reddy pink color going through it. So they're good sized blocks, and they do take a little bit to make, though. That I know from doing this one the other day. But hopefully I can do maybe one a week or one every 2 weeks, and then we'll get this one done. And I did 5 more blocks with my vintage Christmas quilt along. I'm going to keep going with this one until I get it done. And I think I have 13 blocks to go. I started with 42, so 13 to go is not bad. So the first one is this star. Next one, I don't know what you call this one, but I think it was supposed to look like a wreath, but I don't have a whole lot of green in this little fat 8th bundle that I'm using. So there's that one. This one, I think it's supposed to look like a snowflake. So this is number 3. And they weren't too hard. This one was a little more challenging because you had several flying geese, and even the half square triangles, they're small. Like they end up being a 1 inch. So you gotta have a lot of little pieces. So I used my flying geese ruler to make the flying geese, so that wasn't too bad. And I had some triangles on a roll for 1 inch finished, so I got to use that as well. And then I finished one more, these hourglass ones. So I actually did that this morning. So I have 5, like I said, 13 to go. But a couple of those blocks that are left, I peeked ahead of time. And some are, they're tricky, but we'll get it done. Next is I did a cross stitch here. This is the free pattern from Primrose Cottage, the free chart that they put out for the month of February. So I showed you that on the last video, and this is my fully finished. I did a little pillow, I added a bow, and I used some of the new French General that we just got in. And I did this, I just wanted to show that I made this a little while ago. It was a little wall hanging. Isn't it cute with the snowman? It's applique. So it was kind of like a monthly thing that came. So each month you had a different wall hanging. And this was the January one. So this was what hangs up in my friend hall. And then one of the ladies at the guild that I belong to was, she had a course. And I actually signed up for a course, which is very rare. I hardly ever, I'm such a hermit. Antisocial, I guess. But I did sign up for this. And it turns out that the day of the class, I had to watch my granddaughter because my daughter had a doctor's appointment, and it was so cold that day. And I thought, I don't want her to bring the baby out, in that cold. So I opted to go over and watch my granddaughter for a little bit. And then I went over to where the class was being held, and I just got the pattern. I said, that's okay, I know how to do it, so it's not a problem with that. So I just picked up the pattern, went home that afternoon, and I made the pillow, and I think it's called Foxy Valentine. And oh my gosh, look at this. Isn't that sweet? Look at his face. Oh, I forgot to put the pom-pom on his nose. I just noticed now, but that's the last thing I need to do. But it was all paper pieced, and it did take the better part of the afternoon to do the whole thing. But didn't that turn out gorgeous? And again, I used the what do you call it? The French General that we just got in. And there's the back. It's just an envelope closing. So I thought he turned out so darn cute, and I just love this. I'm just so glad that I signed up for that. And I have one more thing that I have sewed, and this came from, again, when I was cleaning out my sewing room, I saw a pattern from the Riley Blake that Riley Blake had put out for free. And I think this was a couple years ago, or at least a year or so ago. And it was something called a bluebird something or other. And you make the whole quilt. You make these, you make the little bluebirds, and those are the blocks. So I thought, well, I didn't want to make the whole quilt. I just wanted to make that bluebird really bad because it caught my eye when I first saw it. So I thought, okay, well, project bag. So sure enough, that's what I did. And look how he turned out. Isn't that sweet? So it didn't take too long, but look how cute you can make these little project bags. You know, you just grab a quilt block, put it in the middle, and the fabric that I used to make the little bird, the tealy color, is cherry wood. And I have several either fat quarter or fatty pieces of cherry wood, but you want to use it on something that's special because cherry wood, it costs a little bit more, and it's almost like a brush, like a suede look to it. It's a bit of a texture. So this one, I'm so glad I had a piece that color, because this is the color that it was calling for on that bluebird, or pretty close to it. So didn't he turn out so sweet? And on the back, got a piece of the Lori Holt, the canvas, the sewing machine pattern there. Ooh, got a thread. And that's how that one turned out. So I'll show you what's inside the bag when I get over to the cross stitch. Cross stitch time. I did get my new book of days for 2026. So I'll just show you for January. I did put some stickers in there, and every day that I do stitching, I write what it is that I worked on. So I will do that for the whole of the year, just like I did last year. And you'd be surprised at how many projects you actually work on. So this is a really good way of keeping a journal. So, and I had made that cover last year, so I just transferred that over to 2026. First, I'm going to show you, I'm going to just show you three. I'm probably going to keep working on these on like a rotation. I might have a smaller one that goes in every once in a while. But I do need to get this one done. This is going to be for my granddaughter's bedroom. She's going to move over to the other bedroom when the new baby comes in June. So I have until June to get this one done. It's Snow White. She loves Snow White. She's 2.5 and she just loves Snow White. So I saw this pattern and I just had to get it for her. So I'm going to give this one a go. And I used, let me see, it's called Sea Party. I think that's what it's called, and it's a 32 count. So this is my start on this, and believe it or not, this took a while because there are a lot of stitches in that black into the tree. So, and we got Snow White's head started. So then we just go down and do the dress and whatever. So I just really like that blue background. In the pattern here, it shows as a beige, but I like the blue better. That is my preference. So it's a nice soft fabric as well. The second one I'm going to show you is something that I had started a year or so ago. This one's called Summer Quaker Seasons. Now I started this, and I'm going to show you how far I got with. It looks like this, but it was on this pink fabric, and I really hated this pink fabric. Not the color so much. It's really stiff. And there's something about working on this super stiff fabric. It was really hard for me to keep picking it up and working on it because I didn't like it. So when you don't like something, you change it. So what I did was I went through what I had, my fabric stash, and I found a color that's way nicer in my opinion. And this is my start on that. So I'm not quite as far as what I was before, but it's actually stitching up pretty fast. And I like this look way better than the pink. And I'm glad that I made that change, because if I had kept going, I just know I would never have been happy or satisfied. So just a little, you know, if something hits you wrong as you're doing it, just change it. Change it. Like sometimes you just have to pitch whatever and let it go. And then if you're satisfied with your change, then, you know, you've made the right decision. So. And the last one, just about like 99% finished, page 7 on Elizabeth Stevenson, 1854, the 2025 Queen of the May from Hands Across the Sea. I have made a lot of progress, and I am so happy. Don't mind the threads that are down, but they're going to be continued. Okay, this is my progress. Look at that. So this is all the area from page 7, and I'm going to start page 8. And I think page 8's it's got a lot of stitching in the middle, so it might take me a little bit to get that done. But look at the colors on that. Isn't that gorgeous? These are done with silks, and it's really coming along. And I gave myself a year to do this, and I'm hoping I can still do it. Well, you never know. You never know. I started, I think, June last year. So let's see how far I can get. But I really, really love doing this one. Now that it's really taking shape, I'm pretty happy with the whole thing. And now here's the tour of my sewing room. Recently, I got this little bench. It was a great find that I found at the Goodwill. It's made out of, it's solid wood, and there wasn't much wrong with it other than the hinges just needed to be replaced, and that's it. There's a little loon on the back of it, and my husband, he just kind of sanded it down and put a coating of whatever it is you put on wood. I'm not a woodworker, so I don't know. And then on the bench, I can put all of these things I stored. So it's a great little addition. Oh, and by the way, the best thing of all is that it cost me $5. So you can get some good finds. So here we have my ironing board and iron. And over here, I moved this recently. This is my cabinet that holds a lot of patterns for my cross stitch. And I've got these little drawers right here that I have my patterns in here for cross stitch, my cross stitch charts. And I've got this little box that I made, and I've got some threads in here that I keep. I have several different spots I keep all the floss. And one of my earlier videos, I showed you all of the stuff in this cabinet. So over here is my table that I work on. I mean, I figure my dining room table, I don't use it very often, only like 3 times a year. We sit at the kitchen table, so when we have the bigger meals, we come in here, then I clear everything off. But I thought this is a perfect table to have everything, and I keep all my projects in these storage bins, so I can just take my stuff out and go along. And I keep my bigger pieces of fabric, like my background, close at hand. So I have them sitting right there for the quilts that I'm working on. I just grab it and cut what I need. And here are the couple of bins. And this is my quilting journal that I put all my patterns in throughout the year. So this is for 2026. I've started that. Start a new one every year. Keep a little bin to put scraps as I go along. They go in there, then they get put into bigger bins, sorted out. And we go over here. I've got this little, what do you call it? Trolley tray thing that I just have it's on wheels, so I can just take it wherever I want. And down here, I've got a little suitcase, and that little suitcase holds a lot of my linens that I use for cross stitch. And I've got my featherweight stored back there, and I've got this, I gotta look at the name of it, I forget the name of it, fusible fleece that I use for project bags. I just bought it off of Amazon. I got a whole bolt so I can just cut off whatever I need. I just found it was cheaper that way. And this is the cabinet that I just got last week. Oh, it's gonna be really hard for me to step back. Okay. This is what it looks like, and it's got 2 drawers. So we'll go to the drawers, and at the bottom, oh my God, you can I have a whole bunch of charm packs down there and project bags. So that's in that one. And then we've got more storage here that I've got stuff in. And then now I've got everything that was kind of sitting around the room. I now have it all neatly stored in this very large cabinet. And here I've got this pink little holder thing. I've got a lot of Classic Colorworks threads in there. And those little ones have the Lori Holt cards, the cross stitch cards, and some of the flosses that I no longer, well, that I have used, and I just put them back in their DMC. They're on floss rings. So that just tidies everything up. So being January, it is still January when I'm filming this, going to the end of it. I thought it was a good time to get things kind of organized. So I'm going to walk slowly down so I don't get anybody dizzy. So I got my little television that I watch. And this chest of drawers, which holds all fabric, all kinds of fabrics in there that I've got, and some zippers and little things. So, and then I've got this other cabinet, and there's not a whole lot of room to open the drawers, but I have made sure that I could. So I've got jelly rolls in the top, and a bunch of other fat quarter bundles and stuff in the other drawers. And I've got this reproduction DMC holder here. It's got all the DMCs, all the flosses that have been organized. So that was a really nice touch to my sewing room. And over here is my sewing machine, and that's the project I'm currently working on. So I'm just going to go slowly around. And this is great, this little pull-out drawer, because it has all the threads that you want to use. So then you just put it back, and this whole table folds right up. So this drawer comes along, and it just folds, that thing folds down, and it's just the size of a desk if you want it to be. And then there's another flap out in the back that opens up that you can pull the table out and make it even bigger. So it's nice to have when you're doing bigger quilts. So that's it. That is where I sit most of the time and sew. Thank you so much for sticking around. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. So as always, keep sewing, keep stitching.